Senators on the Foreign Relations Committee say they are confident they'll get a bipartisan deal on Russia's sanctions. They say it could happen as early as this week. Kurt Volker is the former U.S. ambassador to NATO and joins me now. Mr. Ambassador, even if sanctions are approved, will they be enough to prevent an invasion?
Not by themselves. I don't think Putin fears sanctions all that much. I think they could have a strong short-term impact, but I think he also feels that he has opportunities to work with China, to reshift his finances, to buffer the effect of sanctions. That's why some of the military steps that are being taken are crucial as well. Security assistance to Ukraine and reinforcing our NATO allies in the East.
So you approve of all of that? The sanctions, yes. Move the troops closer to the border, move the weapons to Ukraine. All of that you approve of. Should we do it now?
Yes. And that is the key thing that's being debated, actually. We should do it now before Putin invades. There's an argument that the administration is making that we should wait and threaten the sanctions because that might deter Putin. But I think they're getting it backwards. I think that we really need to put these sanctions in place now, offer to lift them if he doesn't invade and if he stands his forces down. But we should be putting these places in now in order to show that we are serious about it.
Doesn't Putin himself face significant risk? Russia faces significant risks if he does invade Ukraine?
He does. And I think he may underestimate that because I think he overestimates the capability of his own military and he underestimates the will of the Ukrainians to fight. But that being said, they do have a more powerful military than the Ukrainians. They could prevail, at least in the south and the east, maybe not taking over the whole country, and they may not try that. But I think that he is determined, and he's made clear from his language, from his threats, from the military buildup, that he is quite prepared to invade.
What's China's role in all of this? We heard this morning that China's ambassador to the United Nations had called for today's Security Council meeting to be held to be non-public. What's their role and what's the significance? You're smiling.
Yeah.
What are you smiling at?
Well, China, of course, doesn't want it to be public because it doesn't want to be embarrassed by what it may say or not say at that meeting. The fact is that they're not thrilled with Russia invading Ukraine, but they also want to make sure that anything that happens here weakens the United States, weakens the West, and they're preserving their own options. They might try to take over Taiwan. So I think they'd really rather not this be in public.
I could see that. Lastly, Mr. Ambassador, your opinion, please. Do you think that Putin will invade?
I think that the odds are more in favor that he will, but we are still not out of time. We have the opportunity to change that if we can get more arms and trainers and personnel to Ukraine, people who can advise them on how to militarily respond, and if we can get the sanctions in place, and if we keep making clear our determination. Right now, I think Putin sees weakness, but I think if we show strength, we have a chance of deterring him.
Do you think the Germans are on our side?
Yes, they're on our side in principle, but the problem is that whenever it comes to taking a hard decision to confront Russia, they always seem to stand down. We need to see a lot more strength from the Germans.
Mr. Ambassador, always a pleasure to have on our program, and we thank you for being here today. Hope to see you again soon, sir. Yes, sir.